Today we're touring a ballpark that doesn't have the history of Fenway Park or maybe the uniqueness of, say, Target Field, but personally it's my favorite ballpark in all of baseball. We'll be touring T-Mobile Park, home of the Seattle Mariners. Shout out to all my fellow Seattle Mariners fans. Which means we're up in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, where the summers are absolutely gorgeous. Every photo you see was taken by me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. You can write in the comment section what you like about T-Mobile Park. And with that, let's start the tour. T-Mobile Park opened up back in 1999, and currently it has a capacity of 47,943. T-Mobile Park is located just south of the main downtown in Seattle, and it's adjacent to the football stadium. If you're walking to T-Mobile Park from the football stadium, you'll pass various vendors on the street. This is a view looking at T-Mobile Park on the northwest corner towards one of the entrances and then out beyond left field. Just to the west of the ballpark, you have Hatback Bar and Grill. It's a great place to go hang out and tailgate before the game. The exterior of T-Mobile Park is very beautiful. The brickwork and all the color schemes is very nice. This is walking down the west side. One of the main unique things of T-Mobile Park is its retractable roof. Other ballparks have retractable roofs, but this one, is very unique. There are rails on either side of the ballpark for the retractable roof to slide across. This is on the south side. This is in the northwest corner of T-Mobile Park. To the left, you can see one of the rails that the retractable roof slides across in the outfield. These are very large steel structures with a lot of framing. You can see that it runs basically the length of the ballpark. And then on the right side, you have a walkway that takes you from the parking garage to the ballpark. You can see in the last photo that rail really stood out. The cool thing that they did on the outfield side is they put flags that go across it. And typically they have flags out there that show what standing each team is in each one of the leagues. When the stadium is open, that retractable roof extends out beyond the stadium, out beyond right field, and there's actually a train that goes underneath the roof at that point. This is the main entrance of the ballpark behind home plate, pays tribute to Ebbets Field, and you can see the beautiful artwork they have hanging up. Once you enter the ballpark behind home plate, this is what the concourse looks like. They have lighting in the team's colors, and it's a nice little addition to the concourse. I previously mentioned the capacity of T-Mobile Park. It makes it one of the largest ballparks in all of baseball. They don't always sell out, but it allows them to have a large audience. One way they are able to achieve this large capacity is all the outfield seating. I really think it adds to a ballpark whenever a ballpark has a lot of seating in the outfield. This is the lower outfield seating beyond right field. Not a bad place to watch the game. All the lower level seating in the outfield is chairback seating, and it continues out into right center field. This is a view from the seating in right field. As you get up towards the concourse, it's covered, and then you have some screens to look at as well. Walking down the concourse beyond right field, out in the outfield, you can see that they have a ton of food options. They also have some locations where you can buy some memorabilia as well. Out in right field between the lower and upper deck, they have what they call the Hit It Here Cafe. There's really two different areas associated with it. This is the outdoor seating where you have a table you can sit at, and anybody can come in here during a game. I always see this on TV. I was really excited to come check this area out, and it really doesn't seem like it's a bad place to watch the game. I don't know how crowded it gets. When I was walking around before the game, and it didn't seem like it was that crowded at that time. This is the actual inside. This is the inside of the Hit It Here Cafe. You can see the seating and the windows on the right. Looking at the view, it looks very similar to the seating that's outside adjacent to this. I personally think if the weather's nice, I would rather sit in the outside area. This seems like you're more taken out of the environments, but I get on a very cold day, it may not be a bad place to sit. Out in right field by the foul pole, they have this area that's really kind of a gap in between the seating, and it's really just an exit area with some ramps. Out towards dead center field, they have an upper level that's all bleacher seating. I believe that these are the cheapest seats in all the ballpark. It's located right below the video board, so you're not able to watch that during the game, but I still don't think it's a bad seat though. They have a concourse that's located directly below the bleacher seating out in center field that you can walk through out to the center field area from right field. There's also somewhat of a narrow walkway behind the bleacher seating in center field, and you can see to the right that they have the train tracks, and then there's an area outside the bleachers down on the field level. This is a view outside the ballpark looking back towards center field and right field where the Hit It Here Cafe and the center field bleachers are located. I briefly mentioned it when I was describing the bleachers, but another main feature of the ballpark is they have a very large video board out in dead center field. Center field is not the only area that has bleachers. Running across the length of the left field, kind of in an upper deck, are also bleacher seating. It's bleacher seating, but all the bleachers do have chair backs. It's just bleacher style. And this actually gives a good view of those flags I was talking about earlier. I went on 4th of July, so they're all changed out to American flags. Similar to the center field bleachers, there's also a concourse and a walkway that you can walk underneath the bleachers out in left field. This is a view of that concourse, and this is the concourse level right below the bleachers out in left field. There's actually another walking area below this one. Between the field and the bleachers / concourses out in left field, you have the visitor and home bullpens. And then you can see here, this is a stairs to take you down to that lower walkway that I just mentioned a moment ago. This is the lower walkway, and this is right behind the bullpens out in left field. One of the very cool, unique features of this area is you can stand along the rails and actually watch the pitchers warm up in the bullpen. From the rails, you can watch the pitchers warm up like I just mentioned, and you can still actually see the game. This was a great shot. I was able to capture Munoz and Stanek at the same time. One thing that I would recommend when you're down there, if you do go to these bullpens, is you can stand right behind home plate and watch the pitcher throw towards you, and I think that's just an awesome experience. Another fun feature of this ballpark is out in center field right next to the bullpens is they have a standing room only area. I wouldn't necessarily recommend staying the whole game in this area, but anybody can come down here. It's a fun area to hang out, especially on a nice summer day like this one. You have the black batter's eye right behind the standing room only. Back in the day, they actually used to have trees in this area. They have several levels of the standing room only. They have the lower level that's right next to the field. That's where a lot of the adults hang out. And then above that, in an upper level, there's a walkway, and that's where the kids club is. If you're standing out in that standing room only and you're looking at the field, turn around and look up and you can see the numbers that are retired by the Mariners. They do have a concourse located directly behind the standing room only, so don't worry, you can grab a beer when you're out there. Out in the corner of left field towards the foul pole line, they have another area you can hang out, and that's called Eggers. This area is broken up into 2 levels as well. This is the upper area. You can see it's called Eggers Home Run Porch. When you're out on the home run porch, they have a place to get beer right there, so you don't even have to go wander around looking for beer. It's right there for you. You may be wondering, what's this named after? It's named after a guy named Edgar Martinez, one of the greatest hitters of all time for the Mariners. This is a view from the home run porch looking towards the field. Absolutely great view, so it's not like you have a bad view when you're hanging out here. This is a side shot of that home run porch. You can see it's not terribly large, but it really didn't seem to get that full when I was there. If you drop down below the home run porch, this is the area that you have. It has another bar. Part of it's covered up. You can hang out or you can walk out towards the field. The area is standing room only, first come, first serve, so you may be fighting for a view, so keep that in mind. If you do get a front row view of the field, though, it's very close to the action. You're right there, and so I would definitely I think it's definitely worth going down there and seeing if you can get a place to stand and watch the game. Moving on, that area is located near the northwest corner of the ballpark again, so you can take stairs and escalators, and that you can take that all the way up to the upper level concourse. I highly recommend coming up to the upper level concourse. This is a view of that area. You may be thinking to yourself, why would I want to come up here? I'll show you why in a minute. There are several reasons to come up to the upper level concourse. The first reason is to come check out the Trident deck. The Trident deck is located in the northwest corner of the ballpark, and it will give you great views of the football stadium and downtown. The view of downtown and the football stadium is not the only reason to come up to the Trident deck. You also have a beautiful view of T-Mobile Park. There's also an amazing observation deck on the west side of the ballpark. Gives great views of the downtown, the sound, and the mountains beyond. Behind home plate up on the upper deck, they have a lot of area to eat, so you can hang out there and then go check out the Trident deck or the observation deck. Another feature of T-Mobile Park is it has a great view of downtown Seattle, especially from the first base side. If you want to go up to the upper deck, it gives you an absolutely amazing view. Since you have a great view of downtown from the ballpark, that also means you have a great view of the ballpark from one of the high rises downtown. If you go to one of the high rises, it's the tallest in Seattle, you can go actually to the top and you can look out and see both the football and the baseball ballpark. From the waterfront in Seattle, you also have a great view of the ballpark and the football stadium. They always show this area whenever they open up with Mariners games on TV. From the waterfront, if you align it correctly, you can get a nice view of Mount Rainier in the background and then the ballpark in the foreground. It's a little farther away, but another thing you can do is go up to the Space Needle and way in the distance. If you zoom in, you can see the two stadiums as well. Back inside the ballpark, you have the press box that's located right behind home plate. I think it's pretty standard for a Major League ballpark. You have the All-Star Club located down the first base line. T-Mobile Park has hosted 2 All-Star games, and recently one of them was in 2023. I usually mention this a little earlier on in videos, but the features of this ballpark include 3 tiers of seating, a lower level, an upper deck, and then you really have this club level in the middle. It rains a lot in Seattle, so they do have the retractable roof. When the roof is open, they have a small portion of the upper deck seating that's actually covered still. The Mariners have a trident that they like to hold whenever one of the players hits a home run. This is Julio Rodriguez after one of the games. They won the game and he hit a home run during the game. Every video I like to throw in a photo of myself at the ballpark, just shows that I was actually there and took the photos. This takes us to the end of our tour. I highly recommend coming up and checking out T-Mobile Park if you haven't done it already. Take care and see you next time.